Well, on our briefing this week, we don't have the Chief Minister. He's away with the great and the good in London, but Phil Gawne is with us, Minister, talking about a UNESCO biosphere status for the Isle of Man. You want the whole Isle of Man to have this status?
Yes, and the reason for doing that is that we will be fairly unique. In fact, we will be unique. You can't be fairly unique, can you? We will be unique in the world if we are successful in getting this status as the only complete country to have been designated as a UNESCO biosphere reserve. Now, the biosphere reserve concept was drawn up back in, I think it was 1974, and the purpose of this is to demonstrate that modern, vibrant economies can actually work with the environment and sort of biodiversity, the natural environment. And we are one of the few examples of the world where that's happening. Most of the other biosphere reserves that have been designated tend to have fairly limited economic outputs connected with them. So we're actually quite ahead of the game here.
Not trying to put a damper on it, but are we in the same league as Ayers Rock, Yellowstone National Park, the Everglades, and so on? I mean, these are really areas of national beauty, if nothing else. I mean, I'm not quite sure how the Isle of Man comes onto all of that. I mean, yeah, but
you don't think we are then? I mean, it's not for me to interview you, but actually, I do, and not only do I think it is a beautiful place, but I also recognise the tremendous biodiversity value of the Isle of Man. The uplands in the Isle of Man, for example, are of European significance. We have massive populations of chough on the Isle of Man, which are really, again, quite a significant population. We have the Baskin sharks in the seas. We've got some fantastic marine environments. There's an awful lot of really good positive stuff, and the key to all of this is not only is it really rather beautiful and of quite major international significance, a lot of the habitats that we've got, but we're managing to do this with a thriving economy in the midst of it all.
I'm just trying to get the point that this will be unique. It'll be the first place to have the whole country. But we've got good and bad in the Isle of Man. There are some streets in Douglas maybe you don't quite think are up to the standard that the rest of the Isle of Man is. That's what I'm trying to get to. Can you get that sort of thing, taking the good and the bad?
Well, I think, again, part of the biosphere concept will be to try and improve, I mean, it will give people a badge of pride, and I should say that that's primarily what this is about. It is a label that will be recognised internationally about the Isle of Man is a really good place for biodiversity. It's not actually requiring us to slap a load of new legislation and requirements and regulations on people. We're not going to have to spend vast sums of money, but we hope that through the biosphere designation we will lift the pride of the people of the Isle of Man. We will, through education and promotion, actually encourage people to care more about the natural environment.
So you've applied for it?
We're in the process of applying for it.
I mean, does it cost money to get this?
It costs money, as in there will be Officer time involved in preparing the submission. But a lot of that preparation is actually going out and talking to stakeholders, the obvious direct stakeholders like the NGOs involved in biodiversity, the BAT group and the I don't know, is there a chuff group or whatever all these the groups are, and they'll murder me now for not knowing what they all call. But also the business sector. We're working with the business sector as well to get them on board, because part of the biosphere concept is that everyone understands or is working for the same goal. So we have a lot of very responsible businesses on the Isle of Man who take their corporate responsibilities very seriously, and they get involved in promotions, working with the likes of the Manx Wildlife Trust, organisation like this, to actually improve the general natural environment.
Does it help we don't have wind farms and things like that? Or is that a good thing? I mean, I'm trying to work out.
I think if we had wind farms, that would not deteriorate from our application. I think that would be seen as a positive.
And on that, I mean, renewables and everything not going to hit this target. Will that have any effects on it, that we're not actually as green as we were hoping to be at this stage?
No. I mean, it would be the more we can do to become sustainable, the better. But I think that's a general principle that I think most people, if they really thought it through, would subscribe to. You know, it's something of a reckless way to live your life if you are spending more than you're actually getting back in, and you know, whether that's spending in terms of economic terms or spending in terms of the environment and natural resource. Wherever you are, really you need to be sustainable in how you use your resources.
So when do we get back together and you get your plaque and we're all shaking hands? When will that happen?
2015. And again, you know, it's really quite a significant thing to if we were able to get this, and we got a reasonable amount of intelligence that suggests that UNESCO will be supportive. This is a big thing, a big feather in the Isle of Man's cap, and it helps us again at things like the G8, which you mentioned earlier, because we're demonstrating to the world that we're not just a tax centre or a finance centre. We're actually got a whole load of other really good and worthy things that are happening in the Isle of Man.